Hey, hello.
Hey, how
Hey,
are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm good.
Great.
Yeah, summer is
Everything quite good.
approaching.
Excuse me?
Our final session.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I had an interesting month.
Yeah, me too. Starting a new one next week. A new
Yeah,
batch.
that's wow. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's interesting. 10 more new ones.
I mean, you're creating kind of a flow and a conversation with 10, a team of 10,
Yeah.
and then doing it again.
Yeah, it's super. Yeah, I'm learning. Yeah, doing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting for me. I mean, I think next week I will do it like more artists every day, like 4 or 5 every day, and I'll do it like in 2 or 3 days, and it will be more. I
Yeah.
feel that when I have more, more conversations each day,
Uh-huh.
spread it on the whole week, it's I don't know somehow I don't know better. I don't know. I'm more
Okay.
focused and more push.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. You're in the zone already.
exactly.
Um, yeah, that's cool.
What about you? What are your plans? Continue continue doing what you do? You have any new project?
Well, yeah, I have a few projects. Obviously, a few that got delayed, postponed, changed, but I do have stuff to work on. And I am also planning to finish this project a little, like extend it a little bit beyond, just because there's been a few things that I would want to kind of, you know, to do a second part maybe. But I think what I really like about this is the opportunity to think really like in a bigger maybe perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's only my perspective, so it's still tiny, but in a bigger perspective for myself, I feel like it was or is a really good opportunity to dive in and do something that really is very relevant and is exploring a way to maybe elevate something in this situation. And yeah, I think retroactively also it's interesting like how we will see, the project that we did in these times, because we know how radical times change everything, but they change art. And so I feel like it actually, what happened with this project is that it allowed me to reach out to people and actually extend my interaction, and elaborate my interaction and broaden it and deepen it, and maybe create a more intimate actually connection with people who were, friends but not that close. So
That's so
it's,
great. I mean, that's amazing.
yeah,
That yeah, this project allowed this to happen, and that it happened, and yeah,
yeah. And I'm thinking, yes, I'm thinking that I really took this kind of a door to, kind of roll at and dive into, and I did discover things, even if it's like just very existential kind of values or
yeah.
priorities, and how this can really is how this is inseparable from, art.
Yeah.
uh,
Do you think about presenting the works as an exhibition, as one whole in the future? I mean, did you think about it?
yeah,
Or yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I definitely think that it needs time to marinate and kind of to understand how this is, what it means, what scale should have, what character it should have as a body of work. But yeah, sure.
yeah.
I'm very,
How many drawings did you do more or less in the last month? You think?
I don't know, uh, tens of drawings.
Wow.
I'm not sure, like a lot, many.
Olaf just told me he had a session with you. Nice.
Sorry?
Olaf told me yesterday he and Tal had
Yeah,
a session with
I'll show
you.
you now. I'll
With
show you.
Amazing.
What did he tell you? I didn't. obviously the,
Oh, he just told me that you had a date, and it was super interesting and cool for him, to just pose and at the beginning, the phone was there and distractions, and then suddenly just sinking into this feeling of just relaxation and being in the moment with Tal in
yeah,
front of you. And I think it opened his appetite a little bit to do the same, maybe.
yeah, he told me, we discussed that. They were amazing, honestly. They really they went into this, their zone very fast. They were just like, and then you really feel this, like, I mean, it's really like a kind of a non-penetratable triangle with, I'm like with them, and it's like, it's the stillness and this quiet, airy nature of this moment is very special. And I guess you also learn about people, like, for being able to do that. It's not that evident. It's not that easy to model.
Yeah.
And especially not through a screen, so you don't really have the vibe, and it's just like, it feels kind of awkward. But they were amazing. I think that also because they were the two of them together, maybe it was even like easier to create this cocoon for them, because they both kind of nourished each other's energy, because they were both like
Yeah.
also very like naturally in their own habitat, in their own situation. So I love doing that, and I also love drawing a painter, like painting a painter.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, did you think about it during the drawing? Like how would he
well,
take it or look at it? Or?
no, actually, no, I didn't feel at all this kind of like a stressful feeling. But what was nice is that I was able to ask him, like, like, because I was like, oh, hey, out of his tempera, can I dilute it with turpentine? I don't remember, because I was shifting through techniques, and so it was kind of nice. But it's just nice to paint someone who is visiting now from the other side.
Yeah.
So that's always good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a nice aspect of it. I'll show you.
Okay.
Take you there. So, all right. I actually wanted to show you also like the beginning a little bit, because I wanted to show you a little bit how this is built up. So when I say warming up, then it would be like super, super, super quick, just to get a feeling of the composition. So I'm really like going through it very fast, and then slowly, like gradually, an image is being built. So then these were also pretty fast, but not that fast. Also shifting here to acrylics, which I haven't really worked with.
Yeah.
And
Very nice.
and I think you can really feel, like, for example, with Tal here, you can kind of feel her gaze a little bit.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah.
with Olaf, like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Right? There's something that is like, that is beaming from it, like some energy, I feel.
Yeah, yeah, of course, definitely.
And that was the next one.
Nice.
And they are a little more like, even I like this. We were actually discussing with Tal. She raised a very interesting point or question of where the gaze is at either of the like personas, because like characters, because Olaf was looking forward here, and she was looking to the window, and there's something very kind of romantic. Oh, the man is the active kind of gazing forward, interacting with the spectator.
Yeah, and she's like
While the
dreaming.
woman,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
dream
And I
life.
thought it was a very interesting point that she made. And here we flipped it.
Yeah.
Like
Interesting.
I asked them to Olaf to look at the window in this very kind of romantic, more passive, allegedly.
Ah, so you give them a little bit of instructions. I mean,
Oh,
you
sure.
direct them a little bit.
Yeah, we built it together.
Ah, okay. It's not
Built
totally
it
up to
together.
them, just being naturally doing posing, and then you just okay.
We play around. It's
Yeah, yeah,
like, first of all, they're in their own kind of
yeah,
vibe, in their own posture naturally, but then we play with light, and we play with, you know, how comfortable they are also to
yeah,
be
yeah,
able to hold the position. But also, for sure, we're like, this needs to make sense composition wise for me.
yeah,
So we would play around with angles. I would
yeah,
tell them, like, you know, nuances, take your chin here or take your gaze there.
yeah,
And I feel that there's something with this idea of where the look is actually going towards, to, you know, that really, it's a good question. It's a good, because like, definitely it makes her here more dominant somehow,
yeah,
just by the gaze.
yeah. True.
And
Interesting that the
yeah.
yeah where you look at somehow influences the
Hmm.
way yeah you perceived.
Yeah. And for example, if we look at this other group here, which we discussed, that has some more of a, like, it's a little more still somehow, but I also feel like once the gaze is pointed at us here,
Mm-hmm.
wait, here,
Yeah,
it already kind of is more alive.
yeah. So it's like catching the gaze somehow makes you, I don't know, take out the inner personality or something like, yeah,
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 for sure. And also, you know, that's like the magic component sometimes, the look,
yeah,
because this is the thing that is more aloof, and it's more um, kind of tricky. You either have it or you don't, and you can have it also in very little. Like, uh, again, if we look here, then even in very quick sketches, sometimes you'll see it, sometimes you won't. So it doesn't necessarily have a lot to do with, like, the
and this is something you look. I mean, when you draw, you look for this, you know, trying to grasp the gaze, the look, the way, like somehow this specific aspect of like
mm,
the eyes or what he looks at or something like that.
I don't know. You're just in sync with it, and I'm just looking for. I'm looking to work with it. I'm not like, I can't say that, you know, that it's a specific.
Yeah,
I am aware of technical exploration, but it's just, again, it's like an intuitive kind of thing.
yeah,
So it's just, but its significance is bigger.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, this is why also, for example, we can look also here, sorry, and see, in this case,
yeah.
just to show you a little bit, like, for example, this would be the first sketch, and
Okay.
it's a lot more like, it's kind of gradually creating an arena, and then going into details,
Uh-huh.
and then being more able to grasp something more specific.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, starting from a very kind of fast and gestural exploration, and yeah, moving into a
Yeah,
more coherent position. So I feel like also, these are, you have to have the ones that are super playful and not expecting themselves to be anything in order to be able to do this, that in very, there aren't a lot of lines here.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty minimalist.
Yeah.
And still there's like a very specific form.
Yeah. There's a lot of expression. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is also Andrew. So like, you can definitely tell how, again, with the gaze, it's interesting. Just like the big works are actually more dreamy and less into capturing the look. And actually in the small one that is quicker, there's more, I think, of the characterization of the look.
Interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, I will go through more stuff here that I did not show you this work when it's finished. So obviously here, if we're talking about a gaze, it's very important. Let's go a little deeper here. So this is a work that's from a photo.
Okay.
That I took of Shirley and Uma in my studio. And so here there's a lot more going on, in the sense of, you can tell that there's more time lingered here, and it's a different kind of, it's less of a chasing after, urgently like looking to, to manifest something or to realize something, and more kind of a, maybe depicting something slowly, a bit more dreamy in that sense.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
So just going through.
The one next to this one.
I think we saw this. I'm not sure, but this is kind of also in between, I think.
This one's also from a photo.
Yeah, this is from a photo. It's from a photo, and I think this is kind of something in between. I think if I'm trying to look at a little bit of like the spectrum of this gestural exploration or looking after something. So this is kind of in the middle.
Beautiful work. I mean, all of them. I love it.
Thank you. Just opening, so just so we can kind of see the whole.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of have some view over all of this. I think also here.
This one was a live session, right?
No, this is also from a photo.
Oh, okay.
Also from a photo. Yeah. And then under this is under also large scale drawing. So for example, it's really interesting. Also, like this is my best friend. And it was so interesting to be with her when she was hanging on the wall. It was such a mix of both beautiful, comforting, and sad, and bleak.
Why sad? Because she's away?
But, yeah, sad because we're like family, and it's pretty dramatic, like being apart, almost not being able to talk, also because situations are dramatically changing and requiring some challenging attention. So yeah, I thought there was something. Should I be doing this actually?
Yeah, exactly. That's better. So this one's also from a photo?
Sorry?
This one's also from a photo, right?
Yeah, this is from a photo when she visited me in the studio. So there is something. Sorry?
She lives in Israel?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I think there is something interesting and kind of, if you look at it, you can see every work of art as kind of a tombstone. You
Yeah.
can see it as a celebration of life, but it's also like a tombstone. It's also something that will.
Just a second, I will turn off the phone.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go through here.
Yeah, it's beautiful. She looks beautiful as well.
Yeah, she's amazing. It's also like very kind of beautiful privilege to work with, you know, to portray the people you love.
Yeah.
And so that was, yeah, it was a very, it's very interesting, you know, when you're surrounded with all this. It's very
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, that's so great.
There's,
I mean, really, to see like, and all these drawings were made in the last few weeks. Yeah, right?
yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Super.
last month. Yeah.
It's really great.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun to see it. It's I'm
Yeah,
glad.
it would be a great exhibition. I mean, yeah, to somehow, yeah, hang them together and look at it.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I'm intrigued to see how this shifts with time. Like as a oh sorry,
No problem.
as a body of work. Yeah. So it's um
Yeah, exciting. It's
yeah, it's an
super
experience. I
nice to
also
see all
love.
of it, yeah, extending together and yeah, all the works next to each other.
Yeah, for me as well. I think that it's a good opportunity because in these times everything gets so abstract because deadlines are postponed or canceled, and you know, artists don't really get the chance to we maybe if we work, it's just like we don't really look at the work together and see it in context of one body of work. So it's for me also, it's kind of beautiful to see. And I also love that it has a sort of a time frame because it allows you to give some extra energy into it.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, knowing that it's like, okay, I'm doing this now, I'm diving in, it has a certain, maybe a deadline or a limit. Of course,
yeah,
I will still be doing these things,
yeah, yeah. It gives a
uh,
time frame, and yeah,
but definitely will still send you some more materials
yeah.
until the
Please
end of the
do.
month.
Yeah, and we should do an exhibition in framed. I mean, it actually. I mean, galleries and museums are already open, isn't it? Are there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Museums are open, galleries are open. I think the bigger ones were limiting to, you know,
Mm,
doing maybe reservation based, but I'm not sure if that's the case anymore. I think
okay.
that now it's
Okay. So
totally
yeah, so we
open and
should talk. I
working.
mean, Yael and you should talk and yeah, start to plan.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
I mean,
physical.
actually, well, that's kind of what I discussed with Ophir also, who
Yeah,
approached me to do the show at
yeah.
Framed, and we discussed. We had a similar idea, or I had a similar idea actually.
Okay.
So let's see.
Yeah, it's Ophir. Yeah, Ophir is your guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. It really was.
You. Thank you. Yeah, I loved it. It was a really a beautiful door, and yeah.
And yeah, let's have a beer or coffee sometime. Yeah, meet in
For
person. Yeah,
sure.
about time.
I know. Let's go out. Let's have a beer. Let's
Yeah,
have a beer in
maybe
the
we should
park.
talk to Ophir and do something together.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks so much.
I'll still be tuning in. to see the other artists, what's going on.
Great.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Be
See
in
you.
touch.
Take care.
Bye.